Well, we've talked a little bit about the difference in spec, you know, with these bikes that are made in the Austrian factory, along with their sister brands, I guess, KTM and Husqvarna. But awesome to be part of the launch here with Geoff Ballard, who was hooked up with us today. Rides all sorts of bikes these days, buys his own bikes, you know, not beholden to anybody. So great to have Geoff out here. You know, obviously an enduro icon in Australia. I think it's safe to call you that, mate.
Thanks,
but,
mate.
It was pretty cool to be part of this launch, huh? Like GASGAS is the brand we know as a trials bike, and you know, they're a sort of boutique brand that came out, but suddenly now they're under the umbrella of KTM. Kind of different story, right?
Different story, yeah. I suppose, you know, and many people will be going, they're just the same sort of thing with a few parts moved around. But yeah, it was interesting for me because, you know, I'm pretty familiar with the 350 Kato, so I guess that one, they've done a good job, I must say. And, you know, I can see they've made them sort of so they're a bit cheaper, and that'll interest some people too. So.
Why don't I prompt you? But the first thing, I think we both looked at the things, right, and went, hey, good looking bike, right? Kind of nice red. It's a nice deep red. I
like the front mudguard, I think. Yeah, I like it.
It's supposed to be a fun looking front mudguard. But the first thing we spoke about, Geoff, you know, like plastic's a little bit different, but they're not major. It's, you know, it's 95% the same as more KTM, I suppose. Seat is KTM, but the bars, you know, I know that you love the lower bars, and you end up putting motocross bars on most of your enduro bikes. So you like the feel of that? Gave you a bit more aggressive over the front feel.
I mean, the stuff that stood out for me was the bars. I loved the bars. They were perfect for me. I just feel like I got more strength in the corner when they're a bit lower. You know, I don't pull them back or anything. I just, you know, like having them at the normal where you've got a fair straight sort of a feel to it. Yeah. But yeah, really good in the bars. I love that. The brakes really surprised me. You know,
Brake Tech as opposed to Brake Tech brakes from the Spanish company as opposed to the motocross, which got a Brembos.
They really did. The rear brake wasn't. You know, I'm not a fan of too powerful a rear brake, and there's no squeaking going on. The rear brake was excellent. I loved it.
Even without a solid disc, mate. That's unlike you.
Yeah, no, I nearly always change to a solid disc just to help that. But pretty impressive, you know. And the front brake, I mean, we were, you know, having a go here and there, and you know, sometimes if you don't know where you're going, you go, Jesus, you know, and you grab a handful, and it's not an aggressive brake. It's got plenty of feel. So yeah, the brakes were, you know, really good. I loved it. The feel of the thing was fine. The rear end, I loved the linkage. It seemed to be good for me. You know, I'm used to a PDS a lot, and it's hard if you're not completely back to backing it. But it certainly was impressive there. The fork, not as much impressed for me, but felt a bit soft in many ways. And you know, like for the two-stroke, the 250 two-stroke maybe been a bit lighter. It felt a little bit better. It seemed to be a bit lower in the 350 versus the 250. The 250 was fun in the four-stroke, and it was fun in the two-stroke. And I haven't really ridden a 250 two-stroke for quite a while, so. Hey, it was a fun day riding these bikes.
It was good, you know, we did grass track, we did a whole lot of trail, we did all sorts of stuff. I've got to agree with you. I think in a seated position with the lower bars, much more commanding sort of position, it was cool in a lot of that sort of even snotty stuff where, you know, you had to sit down. Standing, I felt a little bit stooped, you know, compared to, I guess, what I'm more used to with Huskies and KTMs.
Maybe what you're used to. I didn't feel a problem, but yeah.
Would agree with you with the two strokes. I think you know, the 250 and 300, they're both great bikes, and they differ by, you know, what, a 6 mil worth of bore or something like that, and but quite a significant price. But I think the 300 was really a standout for me in that it, you know, we were talking about before that grass track where we were shifting second, third a lot. You get away with short shifting and just holding third gear on the But it also, not only that, when it opened up, the 300 wanted to pull harder, higher in the rev range, which is sort of, you know, a little bit counterintuitive. Normally the 250 is that more racy engine on the two-stroke.
The 250 shut off early in comparison from the 300. I don't know exactly why. I don't know all the tech side of these bikes, but the 300 was great. I mean, I did like, it's a bit more of a fun feel, the 250, because it's lighter and it's it's good in tight stuff, you know. I found it really good in the bush, in the tighter little track we had there, but when you needed a bit more power, the 300 had it, and it was pretty friendly to bring it on, you know, it was good.
Well, let's talk about power and let's talk about the range. I mean, you know, you've got two strokes, you've only got the 2 4-strokes, so they haven't got a 450, which I kind of get, doesn't it? It's not a huge seller in Europe or in Australia, but the 500, you know, is one of the biggest sellers, along with the 300 2-stroke. Traditionally, the 500 4-stroke in Enduro circles has been a huge seller here. Do you miss the 450 500? I mean, I know you're a 350 guy and you feel that reciprocating weight, but...
Yeah. For me, I think they've done the right thing, but yeah, many guys who... trail riders might think they want that extra power, but no, I think it's a good choice. I mean, you know, the 250 is an easy bike to ride. Feels obviously a bit lighter than the 350, and you know, the 350 was good. The power, you know, I've tuned mine up a little bit here and there on the.
Well, it's easy to get big gains, isn't it, with the mapping locks?
Yeah.
We know that with the other brands. Yeah.
Yep. But it was
just to suit Australian conditions, that is, and Australian fuel.
Yeah. It's just a 350, so it feels good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, to ride the other bikes made you, you know, think a bit more, and I liked it was a good fun ride, you know. Conditions were perfect, so that, the traction was great, and yeah, you could fang them, and it was great. You know, it's a pretty fun little launch.
So put your money down. I know you buy a few bikes these days. You know, you're talking about, if you want to compare these enduro bikes to their you know, equivalents with KTM, you're talking about $1,000. You know, we've talked about the bits and pieces that they're missing, or the different bits and pieces. You know, hasn't got a traction control and a you know, with a map switch selector, a few other little tidbits. You know, so a few of those people were intimidated before. Is it going to give them?
I think the price will bring a newcomer in a bit more, because it's still a great bike the way it is. The thing I missed the most was handguards. You know, and I think KTM have probably got the best handguard out there, or pretty close anyway. So, you know, I mean, you can. It'd be interesting to know if you can fit a KTM.
And bash plate, no bash plate. So
yeah. Some people like to have, you know, there's other choices more. So, you know, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think there's plenty of handguards available and bash plates available, and if you don't need it, then you know, you get into it, and then you go, and I really like this off-road stuff, and so. It might just get people in a bit more, being a bit more affordable. So they might have done their homework. I don't know.
Well, you know, they played it much straight about this time around, right? They said these 3 brands come out of the factory. You know, they're not going to pretend that they're separate and they're divergent from a design point of view. You know, I think they're going to cannibalise some of their own sales, no doubt. But I think the objective is that they're taking sales from someone outside the 3 brands under the KTM group now. That's and you know, having a slightly down spec, but you know, more price competitive bike is, again, that's the plan. You'd have to think, right?
Yeah. Why not? You know, you'll get people on them for the price, and then if you feel like you really do want a bash plate, or, you know, to me, a handguard's a pretty natural thing. Everyone's going to want to do that. But the rest of it, you know, there's not a lot wrong with these bikes. It's obviously come from a pedigree that's high, and we didn't expect much else, I guess. So yeah, you know, we kind of feel like we knew what we were going to get, but some of it was a surprise, and to be honest, for me, the biggest surprise was I love the brakes. I like them better than the other ones, you know. So.
And you got the brake tech on the clutch side as well, so brake tech.
And the lever shape. Too. It's a very round lever, and I like finer round levers. I normally modify mine and make them a little bit rounder, and they're impressive. That's certainly one of the good things about them. And well, not a lot wrong with these bikes, you know.
The good news is, mate, the 2 bikes sitting in front of us, the 350 4-stroke and the 300 2-stroke, I believe, going to get back, get a bit of a spruce up, and we're going to get a couple of each of them as a project bike over the next few months. So it's going to give us a really good opportunity, great opportunity today, obviously, but you know, 1 3-hour ride, but to live with them a little bit more, to get a bit more of an insight into. You know what these things are all about. So we'll pop up to yours to cut a couple of laps, no doubt, mate.
Why not? Sounds good.